Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in this next episode of In the Dirt with ASOTU. We've got an excellent guest on here today. Not only is she an accomplished marketing director out in Wichita, Kansas, but also she's been an awarded 40 Under 40 for auto remarketing at Used Car Week. She was a speaker at Used Car Week, and man, she's just got a ton of great things going on top of being a mother of three. So man, look at that. So Erika, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
It's a huge pleasure to officially meet you. I know like we've been texting, we've been messaging, stuff like that, but it's really cool to officially meet you. So it's a pleasure.
Well, thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Well, great. So first off, like tell me, how cool was it to get the 40 Under 40 award last week at Used Car Week?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a shock and awe, I feel. It kind of,
So you didn't know?
No, I mean, I was on maternity leave when
Sure.
they emailed us and told us that we had all won. And so that at that point in my life, it was very odd timing too. Like it was crazy, it's really cool. I wouldn't have ever expected it in a million years. It's really cool. It's my mother is also in automotive. And it's a magazine. Automotive Remarketing is a magazine she subscribed to for decades.
Yeah.
So then to win an award from them, it's pretty cool.
Okay, that's really cool. And there's a lot of cool things of like why you were chosen for that, not only for like event planning, for just overall marketing strategy and things along those lines, which we'll get to here in a second. But like also you were a speaker at Used Car Week. So what was that like?
Yeah, so I was a speaker at Used Car Week. So I love talking to people about automotive and marketing and all these things. So what we talked about was really just customer experiences and how they're changing and some different tips that dealers could take back and implement in their own dealerships.
Yeah, that's great. What was one of your big takeaways from just being there at Used Car Week? Now, from what I understand, I think you maybe like got in and out the same day. It seemed like it was a pretty short trip when I was texting with you.
Yeah, I came in, we got the award the next day, we spoke, and then we left.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. But what was one of your key takeaways from that experience?
Every time I go to a conference, it's always incredible how innovative automotive people are. It's just amazing that you can go into a room and have this one challenge, and every person, and if you ask, is going to face that a little bit differently, and they're going to twist and turn differently and have different solutions to it. So I think that is what is just awesome to me, is how in automotive, there's just so many rooms for advancement and just to be innovative.
Man, so you hit the nail right on the head, like with what I think about events like that, collaboration, and it just kind of means as a whole is that anytime you go there, if you're really with people who want to grow together, there's all these different angles. And yes, like there's different, like everybody wants to arrive at the same place, but there's different lanes on how to get there. There's different routes to get there.
Well, I mean,
so that's kind of really cool to see that.
EV quite a bit and how that impacts different things. And I'm sitting over here in Wichita, Kansas going, yeah, people are interested in EVs and they're not there yet. And then I was on a panel with someone that was in California of all places. And I was like, you're a little bit different.
That's right. Well, like just like you said, there's so many different states that are different, and what they do with internal combustion engine vehicles. And I think if even California, starting January 1st, you can't even buy a gasoline engine, small engine like a weed eater or a blower, things like that anymore. It has to be electric.
Yeah. See, I'm in my own little bubble. I like it out here.
It's going to be a while till they require that in Wichita, Kansas, right?
Yep. And they always say it takes about 5-ish years to hit home. So
no, that's exactly right. There's so many strategies that happen out on the coast of the nation, and I think they eventually like work their way in here. So I'm in northern Indiana, which is also like the middle of nowhere, and we always make the same joke. We're like, let's give it like 5 or 10 years. We'll see what happens, right?
You can steal all these other ideas once they get to us.
Yeah, that's right. So you're marketing director at Don Hattan, and one of the things you guys did recently was a trunk or treat event and a big Halloween event. I think you had it like 4 of your locations, which is probably one of the biggest events you guys had all year. So what was that like?
I call it the biggest event of the year.
The biggest, okay.
It was insane. Every year we get blown away by the amount of people that come out and support this event. And this year, I think, we came back after COVID and we had an event and it was okay. It wasn't as great, but then this year it was like, man, any event we could have ever imagined times 20. It was amazing.
Oh my word.
At like about 30 minutes in, everyone started calling me, we're going to run out of candy. I'm like, we ordered $10,000 in candy.
Oh my gosh.
Would go back to like Walmart, which is the most horrible place to buy.
Sure, yeah. On that day too.
More candy because they were running out. But
Yeah.
it was incredible. It was amazing to see all the kids come out, and it was just like COVID what? There
Yeah.
was no hesitation. It was awesome to have all these kids back in the dealerships.
That's great. And one of the things that I love about an event like that is it's really centered around the community.
Mhm.
And it's like you guys open up your doors and say, hey, community, come here and be a part of this. We've got the space, we've got candy, we want to be a part of this. And really, like, I'll say a lot of that success probably came from the event planning on your side. So how difficult was that to plan out and to coordinate? Or was it easy for you because you've done it so often now?
No, this one's always a little bit challenging because it's always something new we come up with.
Oh, sure.
This year it was different.
The idea starts with, what if we did this, right?
Right. So we started adding in different elements. This year we actually moved our Ford event to a park.
Really?
Yeah, and we partnered with the local chamber for that store.
That's
And the
cool.
turnout, man, I can't tell you, it was just so awesome. And it
Yeah.
was kind of cheesy and corny. It was just an event, right? But it was
Yeah.
it was so heartwarming just to see everyone come and having a good time. And you overhear comments from people, you know, like they really went all out, and it was just really awesome to have that kind of response to the event. But yeah, you can't put anything on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And now it's probably easy to look back at that and say, hey, that was really cool. That was a huge
Yeah,
success. We knocked it out of the park.
right.
But like during the planning stages, you're probably like, man, I hope this works out. Like, we're going to try this new
Mhm.
thing. I hope it
Yeah,
works. And clearly the hard effort that you put into it really made something out of that. So
yeah.
great job, Erica, to
Thank
you and your
you.
team. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we start planning that about 6 months out. We have
Oh,
a
my word.
spreadsheet
Yeah.
that like gives out daily tasks and who's assigned to
Yeah.
what, and it's a big thing. There's lots of people involved. It's even more so than just the marketing team. It's awesome to have all the managers' support of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. So that's obviously one of the event structures that you guys have. That's a big part of your culture throughout the
Yep.
year. And I mean, even just you being a part of a customer experience and a customer journey
Yeah.
topic at Used Car Week, I think that really says that you guys are really thinking on the forefront of how you serve your community the best. So it's really cool to see that. What other initiatives do you guys have that you're excited about right now that you're really looking forward to?
Mm.
Or is it going to be trunk or treat 2024?
No, our owner actually is the Kansas winner for the Time Dealer of the Year.
Oh
Which
my
is
word. That is so
so
cool.
exciting. So we actually had to put together a little write-up for her, and we had never like
Yeah.
done the math on all of the events that we do and how much money we spend on all these events. And we found out we put on over 250 events a year.
Erica, that is huge.
Yeah. And I was like, man, no wonder I'm so tired.
You're like, that's why I'm like so tired all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. And I was like, man, and it just goes to show, like, it's not just the marketing team. It is all of
That's
the
true.
managers that are involved in the stores. Like, they really help put these things on because there's no way our little marketing department of 4 or 5 people could do this all by ourselves.
Man, but how cool that you guys are able to do that many events throughout
Yeah.
the year, and even with your 4, 5, 6 person team that you
Yep.
have. Like, that is so cool to do that. And just like you said, it's not just you guys, it's the
Right.
entire team throughout your stores. So real quick, how many stores do you guys have? Is it 4 stores?
We've got 4 dealerships.
That's great. And then you recently also went through a rebrand not that long ago.
Yeah.
So kind of like tell me about that. How difficult was it to go
Mm.
through that? Was it like frustrating? Was it like, hey, here's the direction we're going to go? This was easy. What was that like?
I love branding. It really allowed us to like hone in on what we wanted people to know us for, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we can get a little bit scattered, but going through a rebrand, I think really just made everything tighten up and forced us to realize what we wanted to be about. And it really came down, I'll call it to one thing, and then it kind of cycles out from there. And that's really female empowerment. We are owned by a female 3rd generation
Yeah.
dealer. So
It's not very common.
also really awesome, right?
Yeah.
And so then from there, we broke it down a little bit further. We all always know that the mamas, the females, they need kids support, right? So any
That's
little
right.
kid type thing, we typically get involved in, trunk or treat.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we have other, obviously, just standalone female empowerment things that we support. There's an
Yeah.
initiative that's really close to our hearts. It's called Ladies' Day. So every Tuesday is Ladies' Day. So
That's cool.
where our female service customers can come in and get a free manicure and massage when their car is in service.
Oh my word. You're joking, right?
No.
Oh
It's
my
been going on for
gosh.
like 20 years. every Tuesday.
Oh my word. Now let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So do you guys do that within your store, within the four walls, or is it somewhere nearby? How do you like throw something like that off?
Yeah, so we actually have to be a licensed studio, I guess,
Sure, that's right.
which is
Yeah.
also interesting.
Almost like a hair salon, like a
Yes,
beautician
right.
salon, right?
We
Yeah.
have to contact the Kansas Board of Cosmetology, and they come in and do inspections. We have to have a
No
dedicated area
kidding.
for this to happen.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot. I would have never in a million years imagined what all we had to go through for this, but it's really
Yeah.
cool. It's fun. It's different. You know, we've seen other people in our area try and do this, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna fail.
Oh my
We do
word. So
this
you guys do it every Tuesday.
every single Tuesday. Yep. And it's just awesome to see just females come in and be able to do a little bit of multitasking. That's actually how the initiative really started. Was we were thinking, or Jill was thinking, how
Yeah.
do females, what are they good at? Well, they're really good at multitasking. So what else can a
Sure.
female do while they're here in service? And then it came up, well, let's pamper these girls, right?
That's right. Yeah. And now all of a sudden that turns into not how fast can we get someone's car in
Right.
and out, but they're like, oh man, can this just go on a little bit longer so I can actually get my pedi done too?
Right, right.
That's so cool. And a lot of people have had that thought, is how do we bring more to that experience?
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see that you guys have pulled it off and knocked it out of the park. And you said you've been doing it for 20 years?
Yeah, I think it might be like 25-ish years.
Oh
Yeah.
my word. But a long time. It's not like you just started last week.
No, been going on for quite some time.
How cool. Well, I got to ask you this too, Erika. So what brought you into the automotive industry? Obviously, it's clear like you're hitting on all cylinders now. You're knocking it out of the park with like everything you're doing. But what got you started and what got you addicted to what you're doing now?
So, kind of funny story. I actually grew up in the automotive world. My mom is
lucky
a
you.
controller for another group in another town. So
Yeah.
I've always loved the energy that's in these buildings. I mean,
Yeah.
you walk in and you never know what's going to come out of people's mouths. It's fun and exciting. There's a lot of urgency, a lot of, I wouldn't call it chaos, but there's that hype and sense of energy, right? And
Yeah.
that's what I thrive on. So
That's
I
cool.
actually was working for our CBS affiliate here in Wichita, and I had been there in their marketing team for about 6-7 years, and I had transitioned into their digital marketing sales manager. And
Yeah.
I loved it. I got to work with lots of different clients, lots of different personalities and different industries. And then I started working with Jill on their grand
Yeah.
opening for one of the stores.
Oh my word.
And
An event they were trying to throw.
yeah, yeah. And so they ended up telling us, well, we're actually adding another store. And I jokingly said, oh gosh, you guys are going to need to get a marketing director. There's no way you can handle 2 franchises, just like co-op and
Yeah.
at one point, like you can't handle that. And she said, well, we're
That's right.
actually
They make it so
looking.
difficult.
And I was like, oh, I know tons of people. I'll put some feelers out there for you guys.
Oh my word.
Yeah, she ended up calling like a week later.
Yeah. Oh my word. How cool that you were able to have that relationship and build it that way and then also find your niche in that. That is
Yeah.
so cool to see.
Yeah.
And obviously, like you said, you thrive under that type of controlled
Yeah.
chaos that happens
Yep.
at automotive retailers like that. And
Yep.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's cool when there's a full showroom
Yes.
and there's a sales manager trying to write up a couple deals.
Yep.
And you've got a couple other managers around, and then you're also trying to ask a very specific marketing question. Like it's like, I love this. I love seeing
Yes,
this.
I
How
agree.
cool.
If I have
Yeah.
too much to do, that's fine. I would take that.
Yeah. That's true. That's true, man. So it's so cool to see like where you've come, also where you're going. And I got to ask you, like, what is it that inspires you the most about being in automotive retail? Like, again, clearly you're really good at what you do. Clearly you thrive under a lot of great stresses, like the load to execute something and perform something at a very high degree. But like, what is it that brings you back to it every single day?
That's a hard one. I would have to say
Yeah.
it's the people that I work with on a day in, day out basis.
How
I want to
cool.
do right by them. I want them to succeed. And I know at the end of the day, it kind of starts with marketing.
Yeah.
I selfishly say that, there's lots of
Yeah.
other things that go into it, but I want everyone at the dealerships to succeed, and I want to help them grow and to learn. And that's one of the great things about working for Jill Hattan Companies is she allows us to be involved in other departments like that.
Yeah, man, that is so cool, Erika. And again, I know I've said this like several times already, but it's clear you're really good at what you do. So keep on going out there and doing that, knocking it out of the park with the events you're doing, and also part of like the thought leadership you're doing as far as customer experience goes. And let's leave our audience with one more thing is, what if you could go back like 10 years ago and give yourself advice about something that you have gone through over the last 10 years? What kind of advice would you give yourself?
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
I still have I still struggle with that one.
Yeah.
But it's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to get advice from people that have no idea what you're talking about. You know, if they have
That's
an
great.
idea in the marketing world, listen to it. Marketing, everyone's a marketer, right? Everyone
That's right.
knows a little bit about something. Yeah. So I would say listen to those random weird ideas.
Yeah, that's great. It's okay to be wrong and listen to those weird ideas, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Erika, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your busy day to spend some time with us. Huge congrats to you on your 40 Under 40 award and also your speaking spot at Used Car Week. And thank you so much for everything, Erika. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this episode of In the Dirt with ASOTU. If you're new to our channel, make sure and mash that like and subscribe button. Also, check out some of these links for our other great podcasts and content.